unbolt the starter motor, unbolt the pitch mount, unbolt the dump pipe, and take that out completely just because it makes it easier, and then undo the whole bell housing, and then engine mounts, and it lifts out.
Okay.
Sounds simple enough.
Simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we are going to be pulling the motor out of my wife's WRX. Now, unfortunately, after 225,000 kilometers, the head gaskets have finally failed. So, only thing to do is pull it out, fix it. We're gonna chuck some head studs in there as well, just to prevent any other further head gasket damage later on in the future. It's a good preventative measure. And yeah, we'll just come around for the journey. Show you how it's all done.
So when removing a Subaru engine, the first things you need to pull off, obviously, the air intake, the whole airbox, and then we'll go on to taking off the intercooler, the ancillary belts, take the radiator out, and then start undoing the bell housing bolts. Then we can hoist the motor out. Many of you might be wondering how I know it's blown a head gasket, besides the fact that the temperature gauge went up and it did overheat. With Subarus, they're not like other cars. The oil and coolant don't mix unless it's a catastrophic engine failure. Just because of the horizontal opposed boxer layout, what actually happens is the head gasket breaks between the combustion chamber and the lower water gallery. So combustion gases end up going into the cooling system, which pressurize the cooling system, forcing coolant to shoot out of the overflow here. Now, as you can see, that's exactly what we've had because of all the coolant splatter.
This belt here for the AC is actually what's known as a stretch belt. They don't have a tensioner, so they can be a little bit tricky to get off. Most people, they just replace them and just snip them. Nice and easy way to get off. Of course, you need to put a new belt on. This belt's not that old, so I'm gonna reuse it and I'm gonna show you guys an easy way of getting them off. So all you're gonna need to do this is a socket and wrench to turn the crank, and a bar or a long screwdriver so you can lever the belt away, just like this. Get a nice leverage point and turn the engine over. And just like that, you've got your belt off.
Okay, so what's interesting about this is the turbo heat shield has actually been cut out to suit a 3-inch exhaust. Now, I've never put a 3-inch exhaust on this car in the 7 years we've owned it, so the old owner must have had a 3-inch dump pipe on it before he had sold it to us. God, that didn't snap. These bolts are renowned for breaking.
Excellent.
Yes.
Why are your dump pipe bolts so tight? I think this was the last bolt on it too, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Lucky me. Now that the vehicle is jacked up and on jack stands, I can get underneath, pull the under tray off so we can drain the coolant and the engine oil. Then we can start pulling everything else out. While it's up, I will also undo the rest of the exhaust bolts for the dump pipe. I'll undo the rest of the bell housing bolts and the engine mounts, just so everything else is just up top and we can hoist that motor right out. I did get covered. Bloody arm got covered. Fuck. Be a mechanic, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Ow. Hurt. Pro tip, always put your nuts back on your alternator. So all that's left for me to be able to pull this motor out is I just need to pull the power steering pump off and push that out of the way. That way we don't have to drain it. Then we can attach the crane, get it out. Then just put it up out of the way, just like that. One neat little thing that Subaru did to help get engines out is with the bonnet struts, have actually got two lots of holes. So you just remove the bolts from the top holes, put them in the lower holes. That'll put the bonnet up enough so you've got the clearance to actually use the crane to lift the motor out, which is very handy. So the Subaru's got two jacking points. One is here on the AC compressor and the other one is at the back of the engine here, which is nice and handy to get your D-shackles on. The one annoying thing with Subaru is when you are trying to separate the engine and gearbox is there's two locating dowels that are jammed in the back of the engine, and with all the moisture and the heat they build up rust. They make it really hard to separate. Tell me the turbo's catching. It is.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay.
Now that the engine's out, before I can put it on the stand, I have to pull the clutch pressure plate and clutch plate off and get the flywheel off so I can send them away through the machining, because we will be putting a new clutch in while the engine is out. This one did start slipping, so it's a good time to do it.
I don't really want to hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change.
Yeah, see how the clutch plate is actually down on the rivets. She didn't have much life left in her. I have seen worse. You can see where it's been slipping, these hot spots on the flywheel. See all these fibers here? That's all from slipping clutch. That's all clutch fiber. That was a fail. Alright guys, that's the end of this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next video where we tear this engine down. I'm not crawling all the way out yet. I know that's what you wanted. My butt crack show.
I wasn't looking at you.